Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Real Heroes Show. I'm Cory, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at two brand new 4K Blu-ray discs. We got Big Fish and Saw. Why are we talking about Big Fish and Saw? Two older movies. Saw is from 2004, Big Fish from 2003. Well, as last year happened, a lot of movie studios did not have the luxury of releasing their new movies out on streaming platforms, physical discs, iTunes digital copies, so on and so forth. So, in the interest of making nerds like me happy and, you know, making money, that's kind of the business that they're in, they've decided to do a lot of 4K remasters and up converts of some of their older films, and these are two that recently came out, and I would love to review them for you today. So to get started, we'll take a look at Big Fish. Big Fish, the 2003 release from Sony Pictures, directed by Tim Burton. As long as you buy early, comes with a nice little slip cover here. Open up the box. You've got the 4K disc. You've got a slip for a digital copy. Also got the original Blu-ray in there, so if you want to give that to a friend or compare what the two look like, I guess you can do that. Talking about some stats, this is native 4K because it was shot on film, which is terrific. It has HDR10, so no Dolby Vision, but you're still getting an HDR grade and color spectrum there. The original aspect ratio is 185:1, and that is what's presented on this disc, so no worries about letterboxing on your television at home. It will fill just about your entire screen. So it had been a long time since I'd seen this movie. It's a joyful little watch, very whimsical in typical Tim Burton fashion. Some great performances from Ewan McGregor, Billy Crudup, Marion Cotillard, Jessica Lange is in there. Just lots and lots of fun. Danny DeVito shows up. Wild. I love anything Danny DeVito's in. So really great to revisit the film. Talking about the video and the audio quality, it was fantastic. I mean, you're taking a film that's now 18 years old, remastering it. I've never seen it like this before. Colors were vibrant. Shadow detail was great. Highlights were nice and bright. Some of the scenes when they're in the town of Spectre and when they're in the circus tent and everything, incredible. Never thought I'd actually be able to see them like that. But also when they're at the Bloom household, textures on the walls, close-up shots of the characters' faces as they're talking to each other. Really, really great stuff. Was very happy with the way this transfer turned out. On audio, it is a Dolby Atmos track. Not the most active track. If you've seen the movie, it's not, you know, a ridiculous action film that's going to have a lot of activity outside of the front soundstage. So the left, center, and right channels are, you know, they're nice and full. Music sounds great. You do get a little bit of Atmos effect from some of the music. You know, surrounds every once in a while. Some things will zip through. Not a whole heck of a lot on the low end. It's not going to engage your subwoofer like the beginning of Blade Runner 2049 or anything, but you know, this is just the way the movie was mixed. It's not intended to be that type of film. However, I will say it had a very rich sound to it. Anytime music would swell up, you'd feel it. Dialogue was perfectly crisp, came through very, very nice through the center channel. So really, really good stuff there. So overall for me, I enjoyed this one. I think I'd probably give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars for the 4K Blu-ray treatment, and I'd recommend it. You know, if you're a fan of Tim Burton and his movies, definitely check it out. Moving on to Saw. Saw is a little bit of a different story. This movie came out in 2004 from Lionsgate Films, and this one's really interesting. It's a real example of a low-budget movie. I think this movie only cost about a little more than $1 million to make back in the day. But before we get into that, really cool slipcover here. It's got some neat artwork on it. I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but there's some words and some writing on the Jigsaw doll's face on there. Cover is going to be almost exactly the same once you take the slip off. And inside the package, again, you've got your 4K Blu-ray, digital code, and then the Blu-ray disc as well. So again, another movie that was shot on film. So it is a native 4K transfer, which is terrific. Love to see those. I would say from a video standpoint, probably never seen this movie look like this before. It is a grainy film. You know, it was shot on a budget, not a ton of lighting, probably not the best cameras. However, you know, seeing it with the Dolby Vision HDR, individual colors, blues really pop, reds really pop. There are some scenes with greens that the greens just jump right off the screen. So really, really good stuff there. It's 185:1 on its aspect ratio as well, just like Big Fish. So, you know, it's filling the whole screen, which is great. If you're not into older films that have a lot of grain and lower light sequences, you might not be a fan of this one. However, I thought, again, this is probably the best I've seen this film look, maybe outside of seeing it in a movie theater. Heading into the audio, this has a really, really cool Dolby Atmos mix. Obviously, most of this movie takes place in this one dilapidated bathroom where the two main characters are handcuffed to the pipes. You hear everything in that room. The little creaks, the drips, the pipes, the glass, everything. The when it needs to be, the soundtrack is very active, which really kind of makes you feel like you're in the film. Right when it first starts out, Lee Winnell's character is on screen, and he wakes up and you know, he's kind of disheveled, doesn't know what's going on, and you hear Cary Elwes' character when he speaks for the first time, but you don't hear it from the front, you hear it behind your left shoulder, which is just like, it's one of those things that it just feels immersive when you're listening to something with a surround mix, and it's got the height channel mix up, which is cool. Again, very dialogue driven movie, so a lot of front-based activity. However, there are a few scenes. There's one where Danny Glover and his partner are chasing after the Jigsaw Killer, and boy, does it extend into the low channels. My subwoofers were pounding. It sounded great. It really kind of puts you in the tension and the atmosphere of those scenes, which I thought was pretty cool. So, you know, for me, again, another film that I hadn't seen in a very long time. Kind of a rough watch, to be honest with you. It's a little bit gruesome, but a lot of fun to revisit with the Atmos track. It was a good thing, though, at watching an episode of Mythic Quest after it, which you should check out our reviews for. We'll leave something up here for that, because I had to wash off the the filth and grime of this movie. But another solid one. You know, I'd give it probably another, you know, 4.2 stars for its Blu-ray 4K transfer, and I really enjoyed it, and I've been enjoying adding a lot of these cataloged movies into my collection. So that's gonna do it for this one. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you are a 4K Blu-ray person, if you've seen these movies recently, if you picked these up and you had some fun watching them and revisiting them, you know, 18, 19 years later like I have, drop us a line below and let us know. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell to turn on the notifications so that way you don't miss any new content. Please like this video, and until next time, see you guys in the next video.